What is good, rookies, and welcome to Supercoach Support Group. It feels like that, but it's actually after dark, so you can expect a lot more chaos than what you would in a therapy session. But round 16, last of the bye round, I am, of course, joined by Ghosty. I feel like you just, what would you be? Maybe a Toby Green now? You were down for a little bit, you've come back up, you avoided a vest, and now you're almost captain. You've taken Brad's spot, he's not here.
I was going to say, I'm probably a Tom McCarthy filling in for a primo, but hopefully do just as good of a job. So, and just on that, want to give him a massive shout out. It's his birthday. So happy birthday to the great man. We love him. Hope he's having a ripper night. I'm sure he'll be listening to this. And yeah, fucking enjoy his night and hopefully he keeps climbing those ranks.
Yes, sir. But no, for those that did not know, it is the chaotic man that is Brad. It is his birthday, so he's out having a good night. He's also hanging out with SDS as well, so you can only imagine what sort of shenanigans those two are getting up to. But yes, a big happy birthday to Brady Boy, who will be with us next week, most likely. Unless he somehow has a birthday month, like some people do, and is just going on a back-to-back. But no, hopefully he's having a great night. Well, I'm sure we'll hear all about it next week. But for those that are wondering where he's at, he's probably doing some horrible dance moves in some pub that doesn't have a dance floor. So I'm sure we'll have plenty of stories to go on with. Maxi, welcome in, mate. Just wanted to say the Max to Grundy trade was incredible. What, 160, 180, and captain the 180. Yeah, 16 playing and doing better than people have 18 playing, lol. Wow, it is one of those weeks, isn't it? We've had a Bont misperform. We've had a Richards heavily tagged. We've had a Chera give us a 60. We've had a Sheasel give us a 60. A Roberts, a Mills. Like, the list goes on. Man, I don't think anyone's really dodged a bullet this week. How many vests? Oh, I wouldn't say how many vests. How many bullets have you copped this week with all these shocking primo scores going on?
Not too many. Chera on was it Friday night? No, or Thursday. Thursday night. He made me want to fucking. I'm sick of Carlton. Let's put it that way. The Voss has fucked me 2 weeks in a row. Chera just. I don't know how you get one kick in a half a footy. That's yeah. But other than that, I did trade Mills in, which I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. What was with the scoring and the points in the second half? He got like 6 touches and got no points. So
yeah.
But other than that, those two I've done pretty well. I think my next week is Darcy with the 73. Other than those two,
lucky. That sounds like a godsend compared to the 60s I'm looking at the moment. Absolutely ridiculous. So, Hawksy, I feel you, mate. It sucks. I had the VC on Richards, and I'm not taking a 66. So, thankfully, Dacos came through with the 131. Very, very good. Yeah, that's the only thing I also have for this week. And look, maybe McCarthy just back. His first 2 scores are in the hundreds. Very, very nice. Like, what a godsend of a rookie he has been. Oh, you there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, was that a question?
Yes.
Yeah, no. He's got
Ghost
the role.
has also been on the beers tonight.
He's got the role, man. It's the Marich role, and he's doing it. And even it was great hearing the commentators say, "Oh, McCarthy looks like a player." When the commentators are saying that and he's scoring like that, thank God. But yeah, what a game! And I've got a row that I had today that went off as well. So it's given me it's four. I got him at 465k, 4 tons in a row for me. Hasn't let me down. Keep eating the grass, mate. That's all I have to keep saying.
Yeah, I don't know what fertilizer they're using, but keep using it. He's played really well. He's probably done a lot better than what most would have expected at the price.
Yeah.
So he's just really turned it around.
At least a 70 or a 60, or at least in one in the last month for sure. But well done. So happy.
Very good for anyone that got him in. But yeah, looking at my team, this is thankfully the last bye round, but it's definitely causing a lot of pain on the way out. That's for sure. Oy. Round reviews are going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Michael, AFL is just getting worse week in, week out. Different rules for different players. Pretty much over it. I feel like this is a pretty common take at the moment with the state of AFL. What are
Yeah.
what are your current views on kind of the state of the game? Like, do you agree with Michael that it's just a bit inconsistent and it's really hard to get a judge of where the game's at?
I absolutely do. I definitely think that, and it is bullshit, really.
Mm,
Rules are rules. Pay it. If other people are good at milking the rules, that's great. But a rule's a rule. Pay it.
mm,
I've seen, and I know people say like, I'm not a Collingwood fan, but Dacos gets held a lot. He gets his arms locked. He gets all this stuff. Still kills it, but that's one. I see Ruckman that just try to block and nullify really strong Ruckman or push him out of
mm.
contact. We know that it does happen, and yeah, it's not. It doesn't make it fun to watch when you're sitting there in Supercoach. But even just watching it as a fan of footy doesn't make it
Yeah.
interesting. I don't like it at all, man. To be honest.
Yeah, it's really hard because like we're obviously looking at the game now with like two different perspectives. Like we're looking at it from like an AFL spectator where we're trying to actually enjoy the game, but then we're also trying to manage it through Supercoach, which has its own bloody issues, being that Supercoach are very private with their entire scoring system. They let us know a few bits and pieces, but it's just very up in the air, and we don't really know how it works. So there's that level, but from a spectator point of view, I definitely agree with Michael. I think this is a very common take at the moment, and we're hopefully seeing a lot of changes next year. Hopefully, God forbid that doesn't happen, but it's getting hard. It's just, I mean, what you go back to, geez, I remember growing up, especially that early late '90s, early 2000s period. I feel like that might have been peak football almost.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a Brisbane fan either, but the best team I've seen play, and I'll always go back and watch, is the 2000 to 2003 Brisbane team. I love watching them play.
Mm,
I hate
mm.
Boss as a coach, but I fucking loved him as a player watching those games, the grand finals, everything.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree anymore. And that's what I mean is like I miss characters and teams like your Matthew Scarlett's, your Paul Chapman. I'm talking from a Catter's perspective, your Cam Mooney's, just like your real rough nuts. And like, yeah, when we speak rough nuts, you can't go past Barry Hall, let's be honest.
Oh,
You don't have any of those anymore. But yeah, I think it's just hopefully we see some improvements. But Blue
yeah.
Balls. G'day, legend. Happy birthday to Coach Pro, of course. Thank you, mate. We'll sure pass it along. Hopefully, he's watching in the middle of some pub and like he's trying to get a drink, but we're just sitting on the bar. That'd be so weird. Imagine that happening. Borksy, is Bont washed? I'm starting to think it's over. This is probably a really common question looking at, when we see the last time he kind of did these sort of scores. And it's been like a good 2, 3 to even 4 years since we've seen this low scoring from Bont. Are you worried at all looking at this sort of season from a Bont perspective? Do you think that maybe prime Bont's kind of fading away ever so slowly?
No, not at all. Obviously, he's dropped 260s in the past 3 weeks, but he also got a 170 in between, which I think just sums up the year of Supercoach. Players go up and down every week. Bont's Bont. I'll actually be using one of my very last trades to bring him in next week for Chera, who surprisingly outscored him, which I did not think was in the realm of possibilities on Thursday. But man, like I've said, everyone goes up and down. It's that game. How many players got 60? Libba, Richards, Bont, Mills didn't even get 60. I was surprised Warner outscored all of them. Like, it was just a weird game. And
Yeah.
that was at the SCG. He's going back to Marvel. He's got North next week. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. I still think he'll be fine. Like, I don't think the Bont himself is anywhere close to done out of his prime. Like, the game was just horrid for Supercoach. Like, you look at the ground conditions, you look at everything, it's atrocious. Like, we were never going to get a good Supercoach game from that. But it is what it is. Studi, 1731, projected after a genuine shocker. Bont C, Cherish shenanigans, TDK disaster, out of trade crisis, definitely going well. Oh, if it makes you feel any better, Studi, your projection's better than mine.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's one of those weeks.
I
It
hope.
might be round 12 by all over again, and I might actually need a therapy session.
Well, I'm hoping that I can. I had a shocker last week, as you know. I dropped 1.5 in the rankings, which is pretty much double what I was ranked. But I hope projections actually work out this week because I'm actually projected 2-1.
All right, just shut up. Shut up. What are you here for? This is meant to be a place where we come and collide and we feel
don't
better about
believe
our
in
teams.
projections. Don't worry.
I know.
You
Still,
might outscore
there
me.
is. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Imagine I come up from the depths of hell to outscore you. That'd be ridiculous. But you know what's always good in a therapy session, though? Something very, very useful is when we have the introduction of a horse to the therapy session. How are we, mate?
Oh, mate, we're flying. Had a couple of stubbies after the basketball and thought, fuck it, I'm going to come chat Supercoach.
Oh, no, the horse has walked in stumbling. Look out.
No, I didn't have too many. I still, the keys got into the ignition and I drove home. So, yeah, pretty safe. But I missed out a bit of footy today. What the fuck happened with West Coast? They nearly won.
I know. I was like shocked that they were even competitive for a quarter, let alone, a half. I disappeared in the second quarter, came back, and West Coast are like up. I'm like, hold on, what's happening? It's one of those weeks. It's one of those weeks where you can just happily call it quits, I think, and move on to the next round.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How's your team looking, Supercoach wise? We've kind of given a debrief on the absolute chaos that's happened. Have you taken many hits?
A couple. I've got Bontempelli, so he shit the bed. I had the VC on Cherry, didn't take that, so I ended up captaining Dacos, which is fine. Sheasel wasn't very good either, but a projected of 2-1, 3-1 at the moment.
All right, boys.
But,
if these guys disappear randomly, it's because their internet dropped out.
No, should be all right, mate. Should be all right.
Yeah.
But I've gone pretty pottish though in comparison to a lot of the better teams that are out there. Like I end up getting rid of Bergman this week, but I've got Keys and I've got Witts and a few other players as well. So,
well, you got to make a difference somehow, don't you? Can't have
100%.
the same players and expect to get anywhere different in your ranks. So, very good, Jason. How are you, mate? Welcome in. Hey, boys, McCarthy looked really good tonight. We just feel comfortable keeping him at flex and upgrading the fake promos instead. This is probably a really common question that we're going to get now when we've seen 2 games with back-to-back 100 scores. Ghosty, I'll start with you, mate. What are your thoughts on McCarthy? Do you think he's worthwhile holding an actual spot on your field, or would you prefer to loop him?
I'm going to loop him. I actually had him as he was going to be my mid loop, but now I'm thinking of I'll put like either a Rosie or a Sinclair in my flex and loop between him and Mills. McCarthy and Mills, I think, in my defense would be probably the best option because, we know Mills can go up and down a bit, and he's gone from a 120 to a 60. So if McCarthy gets that role, it looks solid, man. So I think that's worth a loop. He's looking good.
Yeah, I think in any case, you're either having him locked in a position or you're looping him. I'm personally probably going to try and loop him. So I got TDK in flex, but that could change next week. We'll see what happens. What are you doing with McCarthy, Horse?
I'm going to go a bit different. I'm going to play him on field because this year we've got the 23 spots on field. If he's pumping out hundreds each week, then I feel pretty comfortable in fielding him, knowing that because the role plays a big part in why we pick certain players for our side. So if he's getting that role and he's getting 25 to 30 touches a game and he's rebounding from defense, running, taking bounces and then kicking long. So regardless of whether it's a direct turnover or what, he's still getting the points for the long kicks. Then if he is the 23rd scorer, it's going to drop out anyway. But if he's part of that best 22, then I don't have to worry about looping players into my team. So there are multiple ways you could play it. I was probably just a bit shit with trades early on and I've run myself a bit low. So I've only got 3 left. So he's probably going to be that one that sticks around on field for me, and barring injury, hopefully it sticks or my team sticks together for the next couple of weeks.
I like it. Yeah, it's definitely, when I look at my team now, I held on to a Roberts and I think I'd rather use 2 trades, go down to 2 trades and get Roberts out and keep McCarthy at a lock position rather than try to get McCarthy as a loop at this point. So
that's a fantastic point, mate, because you look at West Coast and the role that McCarthy has, it's pretty much just his. But then you look at Sydney and you've got Blakey that can run and carry. You've got Mills who can go back there as well. They've got multiple players that can play that position, and it sort of robs him a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a problem. This backline of mine was so solid, and now it's a problem. So I love it. I love it. Hawksy, very nice, mate. I don't think that's a bad projection in hindsight. I think it'll be fine. There'll be a lot of variant scores this week just because there's been so many hits. Blue Balls, all the Grundy flexes make me sick. Did anyone jump on Grundy?
No.
No. Ooh.
I wish.
Yeah. I contemplated it, but I'm like, it was just that money grab option from Gorn. And you didn't get that much cash opening up from Grundy, but man, has he been in very nice. He's just been in absolute form.
Yeah.
Over the last like 5-6 weeks now. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. But I held on to Gorn. I'll take a 90, considering he was on at 1 at second quarter time, at the start of the second quarter. So I'll happily take that. Horse, from memory, you traded Gorn.
I did. So Gorn was part of my trade to get Jackson and Witts in. So it helped me fill out a spot in my forward line to be able to bring Jackson in. Yep. But with the run that Gorn has, and I don't know whether you're the same, and is it Ghost that's with us as well? I'm not sure whether he's got him or not, but to use that cash in order to be able to fill out our teams, and then it is an option that you could trade him back in once round 19, round 20 comes, when he's got that good run at potentially 150 or 100k cheaper.
Yeah,
that's 100%. A very, very solid point. Did you never had Gorn, did you, Ghosty?
No, I've been anti-podding the prick for a long time, and it's been hurting me. I started with Big X though. I had Cherry since the start, so I've been very happy and happy with that. But if I had Gorn, I would have done exactly what Horse did. I would have broke him down to try and get 2 gun players in, because 2 players getting 100 is probably going to beat Maxi getting a 150 even. So yeah, I think I would have done it. But yeah. To get a Jackson in as well, that's solid as he's been killing it as well. So besides Grundy, Jackson would have been the next best ruck option. I think they've done really well this year.
Yeah, they're very potty picking Wits as well, which I think on debut for your team scores you a very nice 130 odd.
Yeah.
On his first score, which was very, very nice. So Wits has been quietly a very good ruckman this year. Very, very consistent. I shockingly. I brought in TDK the week prior to the trade week that everyone traded out Gorn. Because I was planning to, and then I didn't. And I'm like, why did I grab TDK? Just shocking. Absolute shocking. But anyway.
You can't plan for anything. It just fucking turns to shit as soon as you plan. You go, yep, next week's set, and then something will happen and you're fucked. So don't beat yourself up, Rook. You're right.
I'm all for the Carlton hate, though, if we want to keep that rolling.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where this team ends up, or the club itself ends up next season. It's going to be so interesting, because, damn, it's just going to be really interesting next season, because if that trade goes through with TDK and whatnot, there's going to be a lot of trades that open up for other clubs, and there's going to be a lot of movement. So it'll be very interesting next season.
Can Carlton have 2 VFL teams?
Yeah, it's almost as if they're going from A grade to let's just move to C and D.
Yeah.
It's just a complete. The club itself is a development program, and then they ship them off to other clubs.
Yeah.
Not even from a Supercoach perspective, but if you've always watched the game on Thursday, how fucking horrible was it? Oh my god, that was as boring a game as you get, unless you're a Port fan. That was Rosie. Did anyone go to Rosie? I'm grateful because I've got him, but it's like they didn't know who he was. He was just running off half back, chain, end to end, crazy.
Yeah, Rosie had an absolute ball, and I think it was kind of expected as well that Rosie would kind of go off chain because they didn't have anyone to.
That might have gone to him, but yeah, he went to Butters instead, and Butters still pretty much outscored Chera at half time with a tag. So
yeah. Why he jumped on Butters though? He handles the tag very, very well.
Yeah.
Derek from Thailand. Happy birthday to Brad. Very, very nice. Thank you, mate.
HB, Brad.
Yeah, he's having a few bevies. Having a good
Good
night
lad.
out.
Good lad.
Good week to do it, where he doesn't have to focus about Supercoach. Jack, thank you, mate. Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. G'day, legend. Shocking week for me. Dacos C. I'll take. Clay Hall outscoring Bont, Dacos, Shearer, Sheasel is shocking. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild that we've got these rookies that are outscoring Primos this week. But it's Supercoach. It is all very speculative. You can't really pin these sort of weeks. Studi gave up so much to get Darcy in, and he deals me a 73. Might as well have got Dylan Moore or even a Ben Keys.
Ben Keys.
Ben Keys, the absolute legend of your team at the moment, which is like a masterstroke of the community.
It is. I didn't want him.
It's so good, though. It's so good because they gave you pretty much Keys thinking this is going to work out horribly for you.
This is going to backfire.
It's been a masterstroke. It's been an absolute masterstroke. So
yeah,
so,
just
so
think
good.
of the reaction that you get from Viagra without taking Viagra. That's how good it's been.
I love it. I love it. Jeez, you're going to be all up and about tomorrow then, aren't you?
Oh, the blood's going to be running through it hard, mate. I can't wait. I should have put the C on him.
Should have. Oh, it would have been a sneaky C. Studi give us, so he gave up so much to get Darcy. And what do we think limited Darcy? Because he had a really, really hot start. And then English kind of spent some time on the pine and had to chop in the ruck. Do you reckon that's what kind of reduced his scoring? Was he had to cover ruck more than sit in the forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ghosty?
Yeah, this was the week I brought him in, and I brought him in for Bolton because I just couldn't handle another week. I thought at least Darcy would be fun, and for the first 5 minutes, he was really fucking fun. But yeah, I don't know. I thought after he kicked his third, which was a great goal on the run, that I thought he was probably going to go to 5 or 6, but yeah, I couldn't believe he only scored 5 points. The 50-meter penalty after halftime didn't help, so he went down a bit, but. Yeah, I think a bit more time in the ruck, and he wasn't going to beat Grundy in the ruck. He was just beasting him. So,
yeah.
But they got North next week, man. He's under the roof. Surely he kicks a bag.
We've got to remember too that he had a favourable matchup against Richmond, but he spent the best part of 6 weeks out, so he is still getting his legs underneath him.
Yeah.
And Sydney were pretty good. For a team that's been pretty ordinary this year. Now that they've got Heaney's back in form, they've got Goulden back. They've got some key players back, Papley even, his little cunt. But anyway, he's a good player. But do you know what I mean, though? They're starting to get some really good senior players back, and it's just going to boost the way they go about it for the rest of the year. So the fact that Western Bulldogs got the win, that's awesome. But from a Supercoach point of view, don't be disappointed with a 74 from Darcy. Yeah, he kicked 3 goals, but he was quiet in the second half. But, yeah, next week, as Ghost just said, Marvel against North Melbourne. He's the Wembenyana of the AFL. He could kick 6 against North.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree anymore. That's a great comparison. Could not agree any more. Nathan wants to know, go, Steve.
Oh, no, I was just going to say he won't be rucking against someone like, I know Sherry's there, but he won't ruck against Sherry. He'll be rucking against Jack Darling when he's chopping out. So he should win a few taps in there too, which gives him some points. So just a side.
No, that's a good, very good point. Do we take the Dacos C or do we risk Dawson? This is a pretty easy one for me. You take it any day of the week.
Every day of the week. Yeah.
Every day of the week, yeah. But Dawson shit what we hope, unless he's an absolute butcher of the ball.
At the end of the day, Dawson could score 150, but you're risking it for what, 40 extra points?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You got a guaranteed 130 versus what you hope to be a 150.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it is you got a guaranteed, really good BC score versus something you don't even know yet. Injuries could happen. It's ridiculous. Richard is not having a good week. Traded in Richards, Horn Francis, and Mills.
Shit.
Ooh, that's gonna sting a little bit. It's obviously everyone was kind of jumping back into Horn Francis. Did you guys also jump into him, or did you guys view differently?
Pickles.
Yeah, good old Pickles.
No. So for those that don't know about Pickles, we've nicknamed him Pickles because he's the type of bloke that he'd sit in Macca's and peel the pickles out of the burgers and throw them on the window and expect the bloody workers to clean it up. He's just that sort of a bloke. Just thinks about himself and not anyone else. So, Pickles is in the bin. Too inconsistent.
I like it. What about you, Ghosty? Did you jump on? Did you have him?
No, I started with him at the start of the year, but obviously traded him out quite early because his form was dog shit, and then he obviously turned it on once I fucked him off. But no, I was looking at him, but I thought Darcy would be a much more fun own, better run, and his shoulder and the CBAs just was sort of the first game he looked really, really good back, and then last week he just didn't sort of looked a bit off, and I was just like, if he's sitting forward, I'd rather have Darcy sitting forward for me than a JHF sitting forward for me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And that's what I mean. Is like I think there was just because I was thinking about it, and I think a lot of people had that choice of it's Darcy or Horn Francis, and it was Darcy's come back guns blazing and no injury concerns, no soreness, no nothing. Whereas Horny Man's come back and he's now got a shoulder thing, and it's not the midfield minutes that we wanted. Where there's no confusion with Darcy as to his role and what he can do. Horny Man, there was just too many flags. So anyone that asked me during the week, I put you on Darcy all the time. And not surprising that he got rested, let's be honest, blowing Carlton out of the water. He's been sore since he came back. Like they were always going to rest him.
Imagine if he actually liked an ice bath, he'd be fine.
Imagine if he spent more time in ice bars than he did on TikTok. Ridiculous.
Oh, have you seen some of those TikTok dances? Oh, Pickles, you're a flog.
He is. He really is. So funny though. It's like great content. It's great content. Calls up, ladies man, Tom McCarthy, what a man. A negative 176 break even coming up and might get a 130k price rise if he goes over 90 next week. Woo! Where was he at the start of the round? Like start of the season. That's like a cash cow he wanted. Now we don't really get to
Richmond didn't pick him, did they?
No. I feel like
is Brad a Richmond man?
He is. Yeah. He's a Tigers man.
Sorry, Brad. I know it's your birthday.
Still, it's relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't really get any better rookies than what we're getting with Carthy. And as Horse said at the start, it's purely the role factor. The role is just so good. It's so good. It also helps he has more, I mean, it's not hard to do, but he has a lot more skill than Marich in that role.
Good point. He is Marich, but with a defensive side.
Yeah, he's actually can play football.
Yeah, and he runs. He might run to take a kick in, but Marich's hardest burst of speed, or the quickest that he'd ever go, was from wherever he was on the field to run to the goal square to take a kick out. Yeah. Whereas McCarthy sort of works his way in and around the ground. He chases, he tackles, like he gets points in other ways. So exactly. Roll's good.
To be fair, Marriage did. I think the wing roll does suit him a bit more though. Like he hasn't done too bad. Like he got an 87 tonight.
You got a 40 last week. That's pretty bad.
That's the wing roll. I think that's the wing roll though. It depends on what side the ball sits on, and it just sat on his side, which is.
If you're West Coast, put him on a fucking wing. Like he's not. You can't have him in your back line.
It's a good point though. Like he's got a good tank, and he's tall, and he's got a good set of hands. So, like you match him up on, say, a Jeremy Sharp from Freo, and he's got him for size, and he can run. So he might not be on Sharp's level when you're talking fitness-wise, but if you're looking for a long kick out the line and you've got a 1v1, then you've got a favourable matchup there.
Yep.
For sure. Couldn't agree. But, yeah, thank the Supercoach gods for bloody McCarthy to save our teams, especially when we're struggling to get 23 decent scorers in our side. Jarek has got a 21 to 2200, had 21 plays this round. Very nice. That will definitely help you get up the ranks.
Green arrows.
Green arrows all the way. I'm seeing red. I'm already seeing red. It's gonna be an interesting round review. So make sure you guys check that out during the week. It's gonna be just, I might have to go buy a violin just for it. Ridiculous. Hawksy, Bont is not washed, but maybe the mid is just even more stacked with Richards, Kennedy, Fraser, etc. taking points. Is it a Brisbane situation? Like, does this Western Bulldogs midfield, like, is it a similar problem to the Brisbane midfield where there's just too many decent plays that the scoring can go to, and that's why it's getting split? Whereas previously, like, Bont was your main man, like, really taking up that spot. What are your thoughts on that, Ghosty?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just my take. I think with Treloar out, especially if Treloar was in maybe a bit more, But Bond's still probably getting more time on ground because he's just going forward more, which he can kick goals if they get it to him. But I just think it was just a one fuck game, to be honest. The other 60 he dropped, he got tagged, he got blanketed. So it's not like he's doing it every week. I think, I don't think it's the mid. I think it is good though. I think it's good for the team to have that many options go through there. Look at Fraser. Look what he did on the weekend. So yeah, I think Bont will be fine. I think it's just one of those games where pretty much everyone scored shit bar 2 players.
Yeah, Bramble played out of his skin.
Yeah,
out of all people. Bramble responsibly.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have any different takes on that horse?
Nah, I'm with Ghosty on that one. Western Bulldogs have been one of the top 3 scoring teams when we're talking Supercoach and your midfield group. So you, even back when Dunkley was there, and you had Dunkley, you had Bont, you had Libba, you got Trelaw. Even these days, they've got Richards, they've got Bont, they've got Libba, even though he's moved out of the centre bounce a little bit. But, geez, Richards has taken on a big slice of that pie, hasn't he? And, Fraser or whatever you say, we call him the fridge.
The fridge, yeah.
They've got a few more assets that they can use. Matt Kennedy running through there as well. He's very underrated and a good F6 option if you're looking that way as well. But, I'm with Ghosty. It's a bad game. Just, you know what? We're probably lucky that it's in the best 18 and you may have 17 other players that may score better than him. But a lot of other primos are scoring quite poorly this round as well. So don't be in a rush to trade him out because this is only the 15th time he's gone under 100 in the past 102 games or whatever it is. So,
yeah. No, I agree.
You watch how many trade him to Goulden just from that one game.
I saw people jump on this week.
Yeah.
Just because they like Goulden.
Our man Deadly is all over Goulden. Loves him.
Yeah. He's good. He had a ripper last I think it was last season. Towards the end of the year, he was playing really, really well. Yeah. He's just so good and he's so versatile on that team. And they just look for him all the time. So he's definitely one. If he can kind of get his price down, he'll be one to keep an eye on for next season for sure.
Gun rookie as well.
Very, very true. Dacos could have scored more if he had 5 clangers. Yep. So again, I think clangers are just hard to negate for. But 131, you're 100% taking. Big brother Ashcroft, 31% forward. He won't get DPP, but if he did after next week, they'll be very happy. Looking sloth. Yeah, I don't think it's happening.
No, he's not. Yeah. I think it's only really if anyone went on Sam Doherty, he's probably the only one of relevance that will be getting DPP.
Yeah. And that's probably beneficial for those that jumped on him because that just helps a little bit more versatility in the team because he was a mid only and he's going to get defensive DPP now. So good job, horse.
Yes. 1.1% owned. Love it.
Yeah. A bit so you mentioned you traded out Bergman and then all of a sudden he comes back to the role that he had after being told he was going to be playing back and you're like,
yeah, fucking stoked with the intel I got. Yeah.
Oh, it happens.
Because it was while you and I were doing the panic room, mate. And I had the messages going, he's going back. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do here. And I needed to bring in Sam Darcy because I thought he was going to score 3 million. So I'm like, well, is it going to be Doherty? Is it going to be Bergman? Doherty's going to get the DPP. We'll just roll with Bergman and fuck me, he looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked good, but you got to make the call, really, to get in the player that you want. And I still think it worked out because it was either Daniel or Bergman, wasn't it?
That's right. Yep.
They both gave up good scores. So you did all right either way. X, how's the week looking so far? Oh, shocking, mate. I even considered just starting the stream and then dipping and letting these boys take over. And just kind of chill out. But no, it's all right. We show up even in the bad weeks because it's just Supercoach. It's not all that bad. He's looking at 21-10, best week in forever, even with the Bont, Robertson, Mills. When Dacos see over Dawson, hope the ladder doesn't go too massive. I think it'll be around the mark. And if it is over, you're probably missing out on maybe 10 to 30 points. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too crazy. What are our projections for Dawson tomorrow? Do you have a projection, Ghosty? Where do you think Dawson's going to go tomorrow?
I reckon about the same. I picked him up when he bottomed out, and think he gave me 170, and then since then it's been like 110 pluses every week. So I think you can lock him in for, I reckon, at least a 120. I think is pretty safe and a good game. But don't expect him fucking get 30 and kick 5. Like he's not, he's playing Richmond. It doesn't always work out that way. I think 120 is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Horse?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I'm thinking that it might even be a ranking game tomorrow, just with an easier opposition, and he hasn't really done much over the past month. So 70% time in the forward half in the past month. Do they give him more of an opportunity on the ball and try and get some legs underneath him as well running into the back end of the year? Or it could be just Ben Keys, 10 goals, 50 fucking touches, and 3 million Supercoach points.
You knew where I was going. You already beat me to it.
Yeah. Well, I am excited to see you, but I'm excited about something else.
Oh, man. It's going to be... I hope you're watching it at home so you don't get done for disorderly conduct. Hawksy, X, do you just not have anyone this buy? The legend is that X has unlimited trades, given how often he talks about his trades, and doesn't have any buy players, any buy rounds.
What a man.
He's a unicorn in the Supercoach. Don't know how he's done it, but he's done it. Stephen, welcome in, mate. Thanks for hanging out with us. Got Darcy in this week. Set myself to go get Bont next week. Not sure if I want him now. You still want him. Don't worry about it. You still want him. It was a shock. As these guys have said, I think we're over-analyzing what's actually happened, because if you look at the difference, we've got an absolutely wash score because of a tag. Then we've got an absolute spike score of, hey, this is why we got Bont. And then we've just got this anomaly game where you've got multiple primos going at 60s and 70s. And you've got the unlikelies of Fraser and Norton popping off. Like, it's just one of those games where the top scorers are the ones that are usually the 60s to 80s mark on a good day. So you still want Bont.
In the next month, Western Bulldogs have North at Marvel, Adelaide at Marvel, Essendon at Marvel, GWS at Marvel. That screams value.
It does. It does. And as much as it pains me to admit this, Richards has been absolutely wiping the floor to the point where now he is the tag target.
He is.
Because Bont is harder to tag because he doesn't suit most of the taggers' level of body type, fitness, tanks, and he can go forward. Whereas Richards is purely mainly dedicated to the midfield, or just so slightly behind. Because if he's not in the CBAs, he's usually sitting at the halfback and then moving in. So the taggers are most likely going to go to him, which goes against my second banana theory, which pisses me off. He's done too good this season.
Yeah, he has. He's been really good.
It's bound to have happened given the form that he's had. X has 3 trades. I don't believe you. Luck bottled up. Goodbye plan. So he done some goodbye planning. Don't know what that is. Still second year. Don't know what buy planning is. Knack having a rough week with Holmes, Norco, Neal, Merritt, Smith, Fort, Whitfield, Smith, Carroll, and Dewar all out. Projected 1650. I feel better about my projection now, because not really. I'm probably going to end up on that. Let's be honest. But hey, maybe you've had a really good entire rest of the buy rounds, and this is just the one you knew was coming, which I think's fine. Like, we're about to finish up the buys, and it's really going to see if you keep going, or I think it's going to be so telling to see team structures after the buys, because everyone's taken something different. They've chopped out a player like a Gorn, or they've traded out a Neal or a Merritt, and they've traded out these ones that are looking. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting, I think.
This year has made coaches think a lot outside the box, given that we haven't had that money generation out of the rookies that we have previously. So you're right. Come next week, best 18 teams are roughly scoring around the same, and there's not really that much difference. I think you'll find that come next week and you're back to your best 22, there's going to be a wide range of, there's people that are, they've got their Butters and their Gorns and your Cherries and whoever else, like the highly owned players, but those 1% own or your pod players that others may not have, that's going to be the difference between you climbing ranks or going down, isn't it? Like, do you play safe? Are you playing for your leagues, or are you actually looking to think a little bit outside the box and go, all right, I'll pick up a Jez Cameron at the back end of the year and cross my fingers and toes, and hopefully I can rise some ranks.
Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on team structure moving forward, Ghosty? Do you reckon we're going to see some uniqueness, or do you think most are going to play it safe and just try to get your big names in and fill up the gaps with the value?
Yeah, it depends. I'm with Horse. With trying to be a bit more potty and stuff like that. The way I've done it is I've sort of picked blokes that I've been really lucky with it, to be honest. With the lack of cash generation, I've actually picked players out bottomed out, and it's actually really worked. Like I got Petrarca, Rao, I can name you, Dawson. They were all under 500k when I got them. And it's just worked out really well that they're keepers. And also started a bit pottish, not so much now, but I started with Brayshaw and Rosie as my main two mids, and Rosie getting that DPP and being a keeper and all these kind of things, it helps you. That's an extra trade that I've saved because I've started with someone that's ended up being a genuine keeper. So I think, you got to be a bit lucky with that, but I'd also just be picking up blokes that you really want to see play for the rest of the year, that you enjoy watching. There's no point picking a bloke as a pod if you're going to hate watching him play, that's why Shea Bolton got the fuck out of my team, because I was sick of him. I don't like him. And I picked in a player like Sam Darcy, who's just, like I said, not a Bulldogs man, but he's good to watch. And that's all I want to see. Yeah. I just want to watch players like Baz Smith that I love watching play and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's half the battle that we kind of lose sight on a little bit. We get so caught up in the analytical side that we forget to actually make a team we actually enjoy watching.
Yep.
Like having players we enjoy, not this starting the team with like a Perryman who we don't love and then having to force him out, and then a Shea
Didn't
Bolton.
that turn to shit?
Oh, it sure did. It sure did. But when hasn't something like that happened in Supercoach? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just how it is. Jason, Heaney, and Hugh have been a really good pod to me this week. Do you guys think Goulden could be a good pod as a point of difference?
Yes.
I think so. To come back after the stint that he's had off and to come back at the level that he has without any looks of like loss of fitness, loss of skill, doesn't seem like he's needed to be warmed up into it. He's just gone. I think he's a really good pod if you want to go there to finish the season. But Heaney's been very solid. I think he bottomed out just over 500k, I believe.
Yeah, 508, I think he got to.
Yeah. Fuck, he's been good.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's...
Goulden
the thing is... Go.
Goulden is the only wingman I'd consider in the competition. Sydney played through him because of the way he can use the ball. Don't consider any other wingman, or try and think outside the box when you're talking wingman, because it can turn to shit so quickly. But he's just such a good user of the ball.
Yeah, he is.
It's between him and Ryan Marriage for best wingman, for sure.
Oh,
how dare you?
Xavier Dersmer and his bow and arrow comes out.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's funny. Oh,
come on, Essendon have the bye. Let's not bag Essendon. They've got the bye. Leave them alone. Come on.
No,
they copped enough.
We'll still pick on him. Well, speaking of the Dons and your boys, Ghosty, with all the inclusions likely to come back next week, do we think Clark and Johnson are safe? Or do we think Clark's probably the only safe one, given that he can have the wing role, whereas Johnson is more back?
Well, I've heard a bit of the stuff today on Twitter and stuff, or X, whatever that. A few of the boys have done some soft tissues again in a light run, which was Parrish.
I did hear that.
Redmond and Langford. So great news from the Essendon strength and conditioning people. I definitely think Clark's more versatile and he's more likely to keep his spot. Sort of been pinch hitting in the back line, but I think he'll go back to a wing, and maybe Luell is the one that gets dropped. And Clark gives a bit versatile. If Redmond's out, I think that's Zach Johnson's replacement. I think if Redmond's out, Zach Johnson will stay a bit longer. They sort of play very similar with the run off halfback. Redmond's a better defender for sure, but I think that really helps, and it'd be good to see. I just want to see for the team Zachy Reid back out there. Fucking so much bad luck doing that hammy when he was killing it, and it's just good to have him out there and get some continuity in his game. But I think both of them are pretty safe, if especially if Redmond's out.
And I think if Langford is still a little bit away, again, I'm not too sure on May's job security, but surely that does benefit May with Langford still yet to come back as well. So for the downgrade,
May's got to stay.
Yeah.
He looks so good. Yeah.
Very good. Because I'll be looking to grab May next week as a downgrade option. Very, very cheap before he bounces up. Knack reckons the Eagles should have won. What an upset that would have been.
Fuck.
James disaster of a week. Join the crew, mate. Join the crew. Michael, lads grew up watching the Waffle in the 70s with one umpire. Now we have 4 and it's garbage.
In the 70s, Michael, what are you, 100? Fucking hell. Should be bedtime.
He took one of those blue pills just for after.
What a man.
Yep.
Get around it.
Jax, what are the chances Austin McDonald stays in the team? Oh,
what are the chances of me getting a kick? Yeah, that's right. Fuck all.
They're the same thing. They're the same thing. Yeah, there's no job security there for OMAC whatsoever. So don't go there, please. As Hawksy said, about as likely of any of us getting a game. Very, very good. Causa, every player's gone under 600k this year, and this is why you can pretty much follow that rule of don't pay over 600k for players, because they will eventually come down. X, I wonder if it's just more of a footy last night, went through the wings, all the Dogs mids, as well as Sheldrick, Chadish, and JJ were down on stats. Yeah, it's just one of those games. You don't overanalyze it, don't read it in too much. It's just an anomaly week. It happens. Lizard, 19 fielded, 5 from us out, looking at sub 2k. I'm cooked. Probably not too cooked, mate.
I'd say probably 1900s is probably par at the moment with the way everything's going.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm so far away from that. I'm so scared. Mills is a certified fraudulent operator.
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree.
He had 22 at 80% efficiency and just somehow got scored a fucking 50. It made no sense to me whatsoever.
Thank fuck I faded him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at his stats, like he's fine. He's so fine. Like it's
McCarthy had what 5 more touches than him. Probably I don't know the disposal efficiency, but it's like what fucking double the points. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Fuck champion.
That's how it goes. How it goes sometimes. Also, Horse, where's Deadly? What's he doing?
Get him in here because it's nearly my bedtime. I'm like 300 years old as well, so he can sub in for me.
Well, there you
Deadly,
go.
sort your shit out. I can see you in the chat, mate. Jump in the background and yeah.
Oh, he is. This horse player. He is here. Deadly, how dare you be in the chat but not come in the studio?
I tried to ring him on the way home from basketball tonight too, and blocked my call. It's all right. I know where you live.
It's all right. Little Stash will get in here soon. It's all right. Blue Ballers just need ranking a 178 to salvage the week. Easy. Could happen. A horse, a ghost, and Tom Stewart walking to a bar. Very funny, Hawksy. Very, very funny. Cheesel's straight swap for Kirch, the Butcher, this week as soon as Supercoach opens rage trade. Yeah, did Cheesel go back to the dreaded role of that half forward?
Yeah.
Fuck me, Clarko. I didn't pay too much attention to that one to really take note.
Nah, I saw a tweet. Someone put up that it was halftime. He still didn't have a CBA.
Yeah, that's annoying. Deadly. I got it on good word from Horse that you were joining us.
Yeah.
You better commit, bro.
Oh, he said he was going to as well. Fucking hell. I see a comment that you've got in there, Rookie. The one that just popped in there, DJ. How has IJ's apprentice got on here?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. IJ. Pull stats out his ass. He's got no fucking idea what he's talking about.
Well, hopefully someone who does know what he's talking about. He actually showed up.
Who?
I don't know what sort of operation.
Have a look at him.
Operation the horse is running over at Insight, but he doesn't tell me when I'm jumping on podcasts and when I'm not. So
I told you last night.
No, you said I said I'll chat to you about it, and you
then I tried to ring you and you screened my call.
Yeah, because I was.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We're just having a domestic. We're airing out our laundry here.
Yeah, it's a therapy session. Now it's just couples.
Yeah. Hey, Rookie, who's got a better mustache? Tom McCarthy or Deadly?
Oh, come on. We can't do that. Tom McCarthy, surely.
Oh, easily.
No way. He's 20.
I will give you credit, Deadly. It has grown since I've last seen it. You've done well.
Oh, Carlton dry. More like Carlton lost.
That's my punchline. What are we doing?
I know.
Here? What sort of
Bring it up.
operation are we running?
Oh boy. Well, this afternoon's got a whole lot more fun. But how are we, Deadly? What's been happening?
Oh.
How's your week looking for Supercoach?
No, honestly, mate, I'm thrilled with it, to be honest. And I'm projected a 1,937, and I'm thrilled with it because I expected 1,600 this week. I have 6 primos out. I've basically no good rookies. I was fielding about 4 rookie scores, and I'm on the up now. Some of my rookies have performed, thanks to Tom McCarthy. And yeah, some of my primos absolutely popped off. Captain Nick Dacos, Rosie was good. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Very nice. Yeah, look, you're expecting a score that I'm actually getting this week. So very jealous, mate. It's going to be a very I'm not looking forward to it. But that's all right. Supercoach will open and I'll make a trade and I'll feel better about it. Daniel Green, member of the channel. Thanks for hanging out, mate. Hope you're well and having a much better week than me. Not hard to do, clearly. McCarthy roughly going to have a negative 176 break even, which is booked. Horse got the C on Keezus, I hope.
Deadly's man. Hey, Deadly, tell them about the little thing that you got a couple of weeks ago, mate.
So for my birthday, the horse actually gifted me a signed Ben Keys jumper that I'm still in the process of getting framed, but it'll be hung up right there behind me very soon. Yeah. Mate, Ben Keys, what a guy. I'm just sad that I didn't bring him in and the horse did, and now it's sort of his guy.
Yeah, by stroke of the community, it's now a massive,
unreal,
great thing.
Yep.
You'll have to start him next season, Deadly. Get ahead of the curve.
Might have to. I don't know. He's a bit of a jet, so.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mate.
I think he spends more time on his hair than he does in the training room.
Well, what besides the 8 or whatever he scored, he's averaging about 90 odd, maybe more. So, yeah,
he's done pretty well. He's done pretty well. Crunchy, very basic question: does he take the VC on Dacos? I think it's a yes across the board. Don't even worry about it. Jackson for a stinker. He had Whitfield's Orco. Oh, did we go through this? We did go through that one, Jack. Yep. How are we feeling today after Nuke score? Oh, I was waiting for this bloody fucking comment to come through about Nukem having a fucking blinder of a game.
I'm going to shoot, mate. Sorry.
Easy, mate. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, mate. You run a bloody good show here. And for anyone that's in the chat, if you haven't given thumbs up yet, don't be dickheads. Just do it. Support one of the better content creators there is on YouTube. And thank you for the invite. And please look after Deadly. He is borderline retarded, so he's going to need a guide to get him through the night.
That's right. Can you just give me his NDIS contact afterwards?
Have a look at him. His eyes are like this. I call him chips and dip because one eye's on the chips, the other eye's on the dip.
Wow.
Go to bed, mate.
Yeah, it's way past my bedtime. Thank you, boys, and take care.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to this. We'll get Deadly back on stage. All right, so we've subbed out Horse, and Deadly's coming as the sub. Typical Insight Fantasy Sport shenanigans. All the subs in.
That's it.
Love it.
No regularity on that podcast, and we've branched it over to the Rookie Coach show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, I was a late sub in for the Panic Room as well. Like, it's crazy. But no, to your question, Peter, a 119 can get stuffed because this. It took him how long to pull this out? And the only good score I got from him was the one where me, Scoobs, and Cheese, for those that know him on X, all VC'd him for shits and gigs, and he actually did something. Oh, I thought about holding him too. I should have held him over Gorn. How crazy is that? And I would have ended up in a better spot. That's nuts. Is it 2026 season yet? I can't wait for it, in all honesty. Hopefully they drop the sub rule. Hopefully we have cash gen. Hopefully our primos are actually primos and not this soft business. But well, okay. Speaking of the next season, do you guys have any like locked picks to start your team next season? What have you got, Deadly? What are your main lock ones?
I have my team written down in my notes already. I've got a full team locked in. Most of it depends on what teams that some of these draftees go to and whatnot. But Jagger Smith, he's locked in. Nick Newman, he's one that's probably locked in.
Yep.
Hayden Young, George Wardlaw now, especially after his concussion today, he's in. Luke Jackson, if he gets forward status still, he's definitely in. And just a few other rookie guys and just the standard primos, your Bonts, that sort of operation. But it all depends on, round zero, the buys, all that fun stuff that we love to talk about. That
all the preseason content that will absolutely blast your feeds with. Yep. What about you guys? So you got any locks?
No, I'm struggling week to week just to deal with the fucking stress. So I haven't looked into this season yet.
You're just looking forward to the off season. You're just like, I need a break.
I was like, fuck. I'm like, can I just run out of trade so I can just leave the team to fucking just play? Because I'm over fucking thinking about moves to make and I can get this and that. But no, I think it's pretty much a theory that I had all year that which is picking the more the big body defensive mid stoppers. Like, I don't want to pick anyone that's going to get a fucking tag next year or worried about getting a tag. That's my main thing.
If only someone spoke about a second banana theory at the start of the season.
I know. Fuck.
Crazy.
But then also, this is what's fucked. You picked Richards, and he's so good that now he's turning into a fucking tag target. So you got to be prepared for this shit.
Well, the theory only worked at the start of the season, all right? I didn't guarantee it would work through the whole season.
If Newcomb gets to 119 again, is he starting in your team next year?
He's never touching my team ever again.
Never again? Never again?
Ever. I don't think I could touch another Hawk after this season. They're too unpredictable nowadays.
Yeah, legit. They go, you have like more. To his credit, he ended up getting a 103 today, but yeah, I'm not interested in any Hawks players next year.
Will Day was meant to be the prophecy and then basically died after round 2, so.
Yep. That's probably the one I did fade, but in his place I had Perryman, so you win some, you lose some.
Fuck, does he still
man.
play? I swear. I haven't noticed him since round 2. Fucking.
I think we all put a mental block on him as soon as we all traded him out and finally got rid of him.
I think I legitimately did. Because I saw like a number 12 walk around in a Collingwood jersey. I'm like, who's that?
I know I did, especially when he got moved to the back pocket pretty much in game 5, and I was like, yeah, thank God he's gone, because my God, this role's horrible.
The best part is after we traded him out, he's the one bloke that hasn't hurt anybody.
He's been
him out.
He's pumped out. I'm looking at his stats now. He's pumped out 70 plus every single week since we traded him out.
That's so good. You love to see that. X, if you have a Goulden and Silver, I'll 100% take it for the Game X squad. Just send it over. I don't know how many trades I can give you in Supercoach, but do it. Hawksy took the punt on Keezus as the final primo. Good choice. Worried about his hair. Might go out of place if he scores a 20. Love it. Corey, I think he's lost his mind. Of Bank Cash to go Selgic and Long. Great servants. They have been very good to Libber and Took Miller. I love the Miller pick. Not sure about Libber. Not sure if we've passed the point where he's like a absolute must-in, especially with Bont back in the side now and pretty cheap for a Bont.
He's cheap, yeah. Very cheap.
That role that Libber has is just, it's so unpredictable. And, you go back to the Hawthorn game round 13 where he scored a 70-odd and he only had 14 touches or whatever. And then the week after, he just basically turned into Daniel Rich, like a prime Daniel Rich. So that role he's currently in is a bit unpredictable. I don't love it, especially as a mid-only won't get DPP. If you're going to get a guy in that sort of role, there's better options, I do think.
Yeah, I agree. But I do love
It's not even like he's that much of a pod. He's like 15% owned. So
it was a pod, but then everyone's just kind of jumped on him when he's like kind of bottomed out a little bit. But still, it's been it's just so hard. No one could have really predicted that he'd get like rested in the back line, at any stage. But it makes sense though when you have Bont back in, and then they plan for Treloar and Richards and Fraser running through there. Like it just made sense for the move. But
I just think that they're getting him ready for finals. I really think that they're giving him without dropping him and giving him a full blown rest. I think they're just easing him in, and I think when it's first final, he's lining up in the middle, and he's probably going to have fucking 75% CBAs and go crazy. But I think they're he's towards the end of his career. One more concussion, and he's probably done anyway. So Yeah, but as a Supercoach pick, yeah, I agree. He is cheap though, like cheap.
Yeah, he will be.
Yeah.
Papley, yes, he's a flog, but I actually think Papley's good for footy in general. I
Fucking
think
no.
having characters like that, like it just makes the
Absolutely.
game so much more enjoyable to watch.
Who the fuck goes up to Sam Darcy before the bounce and starts trying to fuck with him at 4 foot? Like, I love that shit. I love that shit. How can you watch that and not laugh and not want more?
Yeah, I do love those guys. The blokes that just run around, get up in your face. Even blokes who do like the Paddy Voss, who just sprint like they've just won, kicked the match winner in the grand final after they kick a standard third quarter goal.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's what I love about Papley's celebration. It's literally that. It's like the game winner on grand final. He's full like flexing it. He's about to pass out from flexing too hard. Oh, it's so good. It just makes it so much more entertaining.
How Horse was saying before that, Marich was his highest sprint was when he was going to the goal square. Papley's is after he kicks a goal. Highest sprint. He's just get out of his way. He goes mental.
I want to see Paddy Voss and Papley do a sprint contest after.
Got to set them up. 30 meters out, they've both got to slot a goal and see who runs faster quicker.
Yeah. Crazy, hilarious. Good question by Marnie, because I think there might be a few concerned owners. Is something wrong with Sherry, or is he still a bit of a captain option? He just hasn't looked too good over the last 2 weeks in regards to what we have really expected, or do we think it's just purely a scheduling thing?
Yeah, I think it probably leans more scheduling thing, especially Pitnet's been real restrictive, especially at VFL level. Obviously, it's a completely different game, but he's been one of the best rucks, and he sort of transitioned it in his first week back. And he sort of had Cherry on a bit of a string for a little bit there. And Meek's been a fantastic ruck. And Launceston's not the easiest ground to ruck at. I have no doubt that English has been fine, but he's been carrying a knee injury for ages, and I have no doubt that Cherry will probably have his way with him for a good stage in this game coming up.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm
not too concerned.
No, you chuck the VC on him this week for sure. I reckon. Haven't on Thursday night. Is Thursday night play?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yeah, I'll be putting a VC on him. Just what he can do. He bullies English. He always does. It's just exactly as Deadly just said. He had a couple games with the Jackson and Darcy thing, and Darcy sort of got a hold of him where he was dominating Jackson, and then Pitnet was the one that stopped him. And Meek's a big boy too. Like, don't forget, like Sherry's style of ruck is throw them out of the way and get the handball out. It's not even about getting the hit out. So I dare say he'll be able to. If Grundy's getting a 160 against English, I reckon Sherry might be on the cards as well.
I think almost by halftime tonight, Cherry didn't have a tackle, and that's for a bloke who averages 7-8 a game, it's unheard of. So I'm fine. He had 3 tackles today, and he averages like 7. I'm not worried.
Yeah. So don't stress. Just if it's a good matchup, and that's literally all we should look for with our VCs and Cs, is play the matchups. Chuck it on him. Again, just make sure it's a VC, so you have backup options. Blue Ballers, anyone got any trades or trade plans for next week, or do we all sit on our hands for a few? I personally sat on my hands this week because I'm probably going very cheap next week and throwing out some rookies to get in a Toby Green, who's going to be very cheap. So try to capitalize on that value there. And then that's probably me done. And then just injuries. So we'll see what happens there. But as I mentioned, a horse, instead of going Green, I could use Roberts and bring in someone like a Naz instead and get some better scores, hopefully, out of that. But we'll see what happens. I might go down to 2 or 1 trades and just YOLO it and see what happens. Are you boys got any plans for next week, Ghosty?
I've got 3 trades left. The only one I'm doing is Chera to Bont. That's it. That's my last. And then two trades for injuries, especially for forward line, because I've got defense and mid cover and a good flex. So, yeah, and that'd be me done.
Like it. What about you, Deadly?
I got 3 trades left as well. I got 300k in the bank after doing some downgrades this week. It's probably just one of my very average rookies to some decent forward who I haven't looked at yet, but whatever one suits the price.
Yeah, I like it. But I imagine most, it's either last week of trades next week to finalize team, and then it's injury trades only, or they've already done and they're just sitting on their hands. I think that's pretty much the point where we're at with the season. So wishing to see how all the teams finish up. Marty wants to know if my doppelganger, Tommy Stewart, is a good pick. Started him and was an awful pick. I think it's just awful because of the injury. I think he actually looked very, very solid. I think he's a fine pick. He'll be 500k. I might even pick him up next week for a Roberts because it's not too much of a difference. And I just want him back in my team because he's a doppelganger. So started him. The whole theme of the doppelganger was built around him. I feel like it might be right to finish the team with him, actually. But maybe I've done my trades, Marty. Maybe you've had me you gave me an epiphany, an aha moment. My goodness. But no, Stewart, I think, gets a tick of approval for a trade-in for me. What about you, Deadly?
Yeah, 100%. Especially, he sort of had those build-up games where he wasn't playing in his role that he usually plays in after that injury. And now, sort of basically when he came back in round 11 and got put straight back into it, he's just been usual Tom Stewart excellence. So I have no doubt that he'll average 100 plus rest of the year.
I agree with you guys see.
Yeah, no, solid pick, obviously, and he's done nothing but like tons since he's been back, pretty much, or like a 90 something, then 3 or 4 tons. The only thing is that I'd be looking at, if you got players around the same price, like I don't know what his price is and what others are, like a Naz, I'd rather a Naz or someone like that, just because then you eliminate that versatility or his durability risk if he does suffer an injury. Or Geelong, they rest their players, so he might be due for a rest. Obviously got the bye this week, so he should be fine for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I think you had to, if you got him at the 420 or whatever he was, fuck, you'd be loving life. That's value,
Absolutely.
But he's a solid pick. Solid pick.
Yeah, if you had the buy structure to pick him up when he bottomed out, you're absolutely laughing. Yeah. I did not. Deadly loves Gordon. Don't you, mate?
He's great. If you are looking for a mid pod or just any pod in general, he's the guy for me, and by a long, long way. That Sydney team looks so much better and just different with him in it. He's so instrumental. And I think he's the guy you could look to if you look in pod territories.
He also happens to be a gorgeous man, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Izzy, hey lads, if he plays next week, is Whitfield a trade-in option versus West Coast, even with his high break-even? I would love to go there at his cheap price. I think at this stage, you're not worried about break-evens. You just want the player in to finish your team. So break-evens kind of becomes irrelevant now. You can't argue against the form that he's had. Like, he's been super consistent. It's just that no one can predict that sort of like concussion and failed HIA assessment and all that sort of shit. So I think he's fine. If you've been wanting to get him all season and he does get up to play, which we imagine he should, hopefully, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. I don't think you boys have any other opinions on that other than it's just a big tick of approval.
Yeah, no. Go for your life.
He'll play, though. I'm on the camp that they won't risk him. That's just my thoughts. But you want him. I've had him. I've held him. I was contemplating trading him out because I thought he was going to miss, but obviously other bullshit happened. But you want him 100 fucking %. There's no doubt about that. But I'm just saying now, I don't think he'll play. I don't think they'll risk him. I hope he fucking plays. I want him to play. I want him to play.
Yeah, it could be one of those situations where that's exactly right. Like they are, getting into contention, and they might just decide to take it easy because it is a West Coast matchup.
Yeah,
and maybe they just don't want to
risk
it.
Massive watch.
Yeah, it is a massive watch. So again, that's next week's problems, mate. So make sure you have a backup plan.
To focus on. Come on.
You spoke about this man before, Deadly. Noz wants to know thoughts on Wardlaw's M9 when his price drops after his concussion.
I don't love it. This year, I don't love it. Simply just because he's got so many things wrong. He hasn't been able to complete a full game in ages. I reckon there's a good chance with North still struggling. There's a chance that they just sort of give him extra time off. He's had a few concussions already in his short career. He's had a few hammies. They might just give him a bit of extra time off for, play him a couple of VFL games just to give him some full games because, he hasn't had a full game since about round 9. So, I don't love it straight after he comes back. But, next year when he's about 250K, hello.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I mean. Wardlaw's definitely, I agree with Deadly on this one, is definitely more of a next season play. We've just not seen anything to resemble the fact of, value for that price, because it's just so interrupted throughout everything. And North clearly don't know what they're doing, because they said they're committing to roles and now Sheasel's half forward again. And it's like, bro, what are you doing, Clarko?
And there's been
Ridiculous.
games where Wardlaw's, he's had a full game or close to a full game, and he's certainly had about 30% CBAs or 40% CBAs. He hasn't been one of the main guys in there. So, yeah, I just don't think he's the guy for this season. It's just sort of a bit out of favour with those injuries.
No, I agree. I'll pass this one to you, go, Steve, because you don't like this dude. Shy, Bolton, potty play. Trade him to Thilthorpe for the run home?
Oh, fuck. Well, I'm not big on key forwards, obviously, other than Sam Darcy, but I think my hatred for Shea Bolton might just get that over. I've never liked him. I don't get me wrong, I like some arrogant players, but fuck, he was a cocky prick last week, and I wanted him to smash Essendon. I'm an Essendon supporter. I'm like, go good, kick 6 goals. He's running into open goals and getting run down by fucking C-grade VFL players, mate. Take a spell, get out. Go Big Riley. At least he might kick a fucking bag for you. But Bolton, oh, God. Just don't get me started, Rook. Come on. I can't do it.
One of the worst in the park, and he's having a chirp.
Don't want him.
Legit. Placey, if you haven't already heard, our general take on this is definitely just take the captaincy on Dacos. Don't run the risk. But a 19-15 is not too bad, mate. It'll be around par. And trust me, I've got worse lined up. So if you want to feel better about your team this week, just pop over to see my round review. That's going to be the call this week. It's just a place to make yourself feel better. That's all it's going to be. Deadly straight from the round raids down Scottish.
You pulled me straight from work, so I'll let you haven't had a chance to do nothing. I've got home, basically had some dinner and popped a beer open, and that was me. So now I'm here.
Oh, look at the commitment. And his first time on the stream too, and he got bloody set up by horse too. Didn't even tell
unreal.
Tonight.
Unreal. He'll get a rude phone call tomorrow morning. Just you wait.
Nah, just screen his next few calls. He'll love it. But yes, he does need a new manager for sure. Yeah. Maybe Squiddy can take the job. Wonder how that will work.
Oh, he'd be even more unreliable. Might need you to take the reins, Rook, because I don't think any of the inside boys have a good committed structure nowadays.
Oh boy, that would be funny. That'd be very funny seeing that. Jeez, the content space is going to be very interesting next year, especially when Ghosty decides to get a video camera.
Buy me one.
You know what? Maybe you just need to have a better Supercoach team so you can win a prize, and then
yes. Well, I'm hoping my ranking will do enough, and then that'll get me some subs and jumping on here. But yeah, no, I'll sort the camera and shit out. I've got a mic, just don't know how to use it.
Oh, you sound like Brad.
That's a good comparison. I'm happy. That's good.
I meant on tech knowledge, but sure, if you're happy about that,
in any form, don't worry.
Oh, you mustn't. So you like being short? You like being the same height as Papley?
I'm not fucking tall.
Oh man, yeah, Newcombe was lucky.
5'7", 5'8". No, that's not tall.
There you go. There you go. I'm looking both over you and Brad now, so I'm happy about that. The only thing I got to my name at the moment, but yes, Newcombe was lucky. That's all he has. Speaking of the man, send me your link later. We're not gonna do that because you'll be in some club, and then I'll get copyright strike for some banger that's playing on in the background. I'm at Macca's. The kick-ons are wrong with Steve. Why kick-ons at Macca's though? Surely it's a pre-stop. It's a stop on the way. Okay, we've got a running night of Brad's antics. Jesus. No, that's not. Oh boy, that's so good. Who's taller, Papley, Deadly, or Sam Darcy?
Unreal. I can't believe I'm not bringing the short jokes over here. I'm not even short. I'm 6 foot, and I cop all the short jokes when almost everyone at Insight is shorter than me. I look over every single one of them, and I cop them all. But to answer your question, it's probably still Sam Darcy's nipples. He's what, about 7 foot 100, so he probably still does tower over me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, those
thought he
nipples are sitting real high.
I thought he meant the nipples individually. Like, are they that long?
That probably too. He's a
I
big
was like, did I
chunk of
miss
change.
something when he was playing?
Yeah, his part-time job is glass cutting.
Yeah.
Oh boy, very good. Oh, Errol Hall played well this week. He did. He sure did. About time. Let's be honest. He got a good run at it.
Yeah.
Paul, picked any lemons lately? My entire fucking team. That's pretty much sums it up. Good timing though. We've caught up to the comments. Koza, watch out, Deadly in round 24. When we catch up, I reckon I tower over you in height.
Look, there's going to be about 50 blokes there, and I reckon I'm going to be taller than about 90% of them, and they're all going to be like, "Oh, okay."
They're even questioning you. They're like, "Are you 6 foot, Deadly? Are you sure?" Is it one of those Tinder profile
The worst
things
part is
where
I can't prove it. Like, I've sent them videos of me standing next to horse and all this, and I still can't prove it.
See, the guy you want to ask this question to, Hawksy, isn't here. Brad definitely did. DWT, at least Edley can see over the comments this time.
Yeah, that's true. The way horses camera's set up on inside, it is all down the left side of the screen, and I always just get shoved down the bottom, so I'm stuck behind the comments when they get brought up.
Love it. It's so good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you guys, but it is almost close to 12. We have done, and we've actually caught up very, very well to the comments, with both the substitutes of Horse and Deadly making an appearance as well. Very, very good. We're going to actually call it a bit early tonight, just because it is a bit of a shocker. Deadly needs to calm down and style his stash and actually chill out from work. I need to probably have a mental break from Supercoach, if I'm fucking being completely honest, and get some bloody good sleep. But if you are here and you have joined us for the whole thing, make sure you do like the stream before you leave. Make sure you guys go check out Deadly and Horse over on the Insight channel. They do heaps of Supercoach content where it is pretty much just giving Deadly shit the entire time. So if you like doing it here, you'll like doing it over on their channel. Pretty much what it is, isn't it, Deadly?
It comes in bunches over there. If you like some of the shit you've seen in the comments tonight, it's about 60 times worse over there. So go get amongst it.
Of course. And of course, thank you to Ghosty, who has been doing back-to-back sessions, just came in, guns firing off, and honestly, man, we're just keen for you to get a camera so you can join us. Also, I think a funny question, because I haven't asked you this yet. What's the law on ghost bakes?
The law? Well, my last name is Baker, and Scream's my favorite movie. Love, you've seen, I've got posters and shit all across everywhere. Love it. Could probably recite every movie word for word. So yeah, I was like, someone actually called me that once. They're like, fuck, Ghostface. And they thought I said Ghost Bakes. And I just was like, fuck, that's all right. So let's just stick with that.
I love it. And guys, the reason why I do know he has posters, can confirm it was a booty call. But thank you, Brad, for just joining in the chat. Hope Brad has had a great night. Again, it is his birthday, so if you do talk to him on X or whatever during the week, make sure you give him a big birthday wish. But as he said, he'll be back next week for the usual shenanigans. So I'm sure we'll have some story times from tonight. But look after yourself, Brad. Make sure you get home safe, and say good day to Steve for us. But thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Another thank you to Deadly and Ghosty for joining me tonight, giving out their Saturday night time. Been an absolute pleasure, and we will see you guys next week. Cheers.